Hello, and welcome to the second video of our course, Meditation, Going Further, Going Deeper. In the first video, we looked at the mindfulness of the body. We saw how we often ignore our bodies, but we can develop our awareness of them, developing a warm, open, kind, and intimate awareness of our bodies, which is the foundation of any practice of meditation. And we looked at a way to do this, starting with, during our meditation, starting with listening to the sounds in the room around us, feeling our body as a whole, feeling the weight of the body on the floor, and feeling the support the floor gives to our body. And looking to notice the bare sensations, and then looking to relax and release energies in our body, create space around our physical being, and looking to bring a sense of light and warmth and softness to our awareness, and looking to notice the more subtle sensations connected with our bodies that in the midst of busy everyday life we might not notice. And of course, what do we try to do at home? We try to do the mindfulness of the body meditation each day. We try to do something with full attention each day and notice how that changed our experience of it. And trying to be aware of our body in daily activity. We can use the time when we're sitting on a metro or the bus as a perfect opportunity to tune in more deeply to our bodies. Also looked at the theme of the importance of communicating our experience and looking to notice the different parts of our body, how we can relate differently, how some parts are easier to be aware of, some not so easy. And of course we looked at our group relations when we communicate, the value of respectful, confidential, experience-based communication, focused on our specific teaching and the value of learning together. And the request not to share this video if others are interested. Better to put them in touch with me as a request from me. This week we're going to look at a new object of meditation, the breath, a more refined object of meditation, a more subtle object of meditation than our bodies as a whole. In a way, the breath is very simple, and yet it's also very complex. There are lots of different sensations connected with the breathing, lots of different movements in our bodies connected with each in-breath and each out-breath. And our experience of simply sitting and breathing can be very rich, very satisfying. So what is the breath? It starts shortly after birth, shortly after we leave our mothers, and it ends when we die. We talk about our dying breath, and we can't survive long without it. I've heard that we're told that it takes 4 minutes without air. That's how long we can survive before the brain starts to experience permanent damage. So the breath is essential to life, and it's also a symbol of life itself. When we think of higher forms of life, we all breathe. Being aware of our breath can give us a sense of solidarity, commonality with all these forms of life. It's a well-known fact as well that we can take a deep breath as a way of calming ourselves down. So our breath connects us with our state of mind, our emotions, our energies. And anybody who's exercised with any intensity will know the importance of breathing. Breathing is a source of energy. When I'm running and I'm starting to feel tired and pain, if I give attention to my breath, it can energize me, it can make me feel lighter and better. And how we breathe, we're told, can affect our health. The exercises we can receive from the doctor to help our health, exercises focused on breathing. And a breath has been used in spiritual disciplines for thousands of years. So it's a multifaceted thing, our breath, the breathing. So let's now look at it in a little more detail as approaches to the breath that we can take during meditation. We can use the breath to relax our muscles, to release energy, and to become more aware of different emotions, to relax the body, a part of the body. You can specifically choose to breathe into that part of the body. Say the shoulders, we can consciously breathe into the shoulders with each in-breath. Breathe into the muscles. And what effect does this have? We can notice a sense of our muscles expanding with each in-breath. And then, with each out-breath, we can let these muscles relax, like a fist unclenching. So there's a process of breathing in an expansion and relaxation, a process we can continue for some time during our meditation. A question for you: when you're trying this in your meditation practice, I suggest you make a note of the questions as we go along, so you have them all together at the end of the video. Do you feel a resistance to relaxing specific parts of your body? And if so, can you find out why? Maybe it'll be obvious immediately. Maybe you'll need to give a bit of time and space for the answer to emerge. So that's the first question for reflection and sharing, if you wish to do so. We can also use the breath to give a sense of space. We can bring our attention to the sense of space in our body, the space that our body occupies when meditate. And around your body, the space around in the immediate vicinity. You can see how the space our body occupies expands with the in-breath. Spaciousness. We can focus this sense of spaciousness around the heart. Maybe not the physical heart, the heart center, the center of our being and energies. And with this increased spaciousness, we can let energies and emotions come out into that space. Energies that we might not always experience or be aware of. So allowing a gentle spaciousness to encourage things to come up and come out. A similar idea is using a sense of release when we're aware of part of our body. Asking ourselves if we're holding on to energies or emotions, not wanting to experience energies or emotions, frightened of them, controlling them, blocking them, maybe in our stomach. And just when we're sitting securely in meditation, letting them go and seeing what they are, seeing who we are more fully and deeply. Maybe we've been brought up to think certain emotions are bad. Anger, experiencing anger is bad, or sexual attraction to certain people. And it's true. Anger can be harmful, for example, but when we're meditating, we can allow a soft space where we can experience whatever's there and discover who we are on a deeper level, in a more fuller way. We can look at another approach to meditating, and that is developing a meditative state of mind. Of course, it's a question for all of us. What is a meditative state of mind? When am I in a meditative state of mind? When am I not? We could say that such a state has different qualities, different specific qualities, even though we probably don't experience them as separate. We can say a meditative state of mind is a stable state of mind. Our mind isn't jumping about from one thing to another. It's an enjoyable state of mind. It's natural and relaxed. We don't have to force ourselves. And warmth. And if we're thinking, our thinking is directed. We can experience an increased sense of presence and a heightened sensitivity. To help us connect with a meditative state of mind, 2 more questions for you to note down and reflect on and share, maybe. Remembering a time. Can you remember a time when you felt a particularly intense pleasure? And which are your clearest memories, or some of your clearest memories? Can you describe both of these to us? A time of intense pleasure and a time that you now have very clear memories of, and why that was so. In both these experiences, you're likely to be getting near to feeling what a meditative state of mind really is. When we talk about the need for a stable state, it doesn't have to be perfectly stable. You can just focus on the body and then the breath. And ask ourselves, which of the following qualities do we already experience? And which aren't yet present in experience? Or maybe they're there, but just in germinal form, just very lightly, and bringing our attention to them, giving energy to them, can help them grow. So we can consciously search and develop the different qualities as we meditate. Once we've developed a stable base, we can look for enjoyment, look to act naturally, look to relax our mind, looking to have a focused attention, an energetic, light, warm attention. And if we're thinking, our thoughts directed, and looking for a deeper sense of presence and a heightened sensitivity. So, when we practice the mindfulness of breathing this week, we can make a little checklist and ask ourselves which of the qualities are already there, which are not there, and how to bring them into existence, or which are just there germinally, just a little bit. And if we notice that they're there just a little bit with our attention and energy, we can make them stronger. And when we experience all of these qualities together, it can have quite a deep and profound effect on our mental states. So one more approach that we can use in meditation. Another approach we can use in meditation is using images. Maybe we can consciously look to use images, or maybe we can just be receptive to images that are spontaneously there, that can be a bit fleeting, like dreams, hard to notice, hard to remember. One image is the sea. The sea is an image for the breath. The sea on the beach coming in, covering the beach is like each in-breath. The sea coming out, washing out, leaving the beach is like each out-breath. So we can just continue breathing, being aware, noticing the sea washing over the beach, washing out again. And that can help us go deeper, engage more deeply in our experience of the breath during meditation. There's one more approach I'd like to share with you, and that's the approach of integration, psychic integration. So, coming at things from a more psychological point of view, this one's a bit of a longer one. We have our system of meditation, and there's 5 aspects of it. Integration first, then positive emotion, spiritual death, spiritual rebirth, and receptivity. They're the 5 stages. Integration, positive emotion, and receptivity are all elements of this course. Spiritual death, meaning of course not literal death, but changing away from negative habits, negative aspects, leaving them behind, ceasing to be that person. And spiritual rebirth, bringing to life, starting the positive, living according to positive habits, creative and intelligent responses to life. These two, spiritual death and spiritual rebirth, we'll look at in later courses. But we'll start with integration. And the practice for developing integration is the mindfulness of breathing. It's a practice of integration because the breath can put us in touch with, as should be already familiar to you, with our body, with our emotions, with our thoughts, with our whole being, with aspects of our being that we're not usually aware of. What do we mean by integrating, developing? What do we mean by developing integration? Well, we can integrate negative emotions and painful experiences when we become aware that they're there, when we become capable of being aware that they're there. Emotions that release and energies that are released with the breath, that we can surround these experiences with love and warmth and light, and ceasing to resist these experiences will relieve suffering in itself. Trying to stop experiencing them will relieve suffering in itself. Recognizing that it's part of the human condition to have painful experiences can relieve suffering in itself. Not thinking we're the only ones, our guilty secret. So this is one approach that we can use to give a sense of integration, to bring integration into our practice. We can also integrate to overcome internal conflicts. Internal conflicts caused by different selves, different aspects of our psyche. How can we notice, how can we see this integration? Well, the easiest way is to make a commitment. We want to meditate every morning. That's our commitment. Self number one wants to do this and wants to wake up early. So we can meditate in the morning. But during the night, self number two emerges. And in the morning, self number two wants to stay nicely curled up in bed. So there's the conflict, the two selves emerge when we more directly try to commit ourselves to make a decision. My root teacher had an example from his personal life. Self number one wanted to be a monk, to live an austere, simple life. Self number two wanted to be a poet, express joy and appreciate beauty. And at times self number one was strongest, at times self number two was strongest. And in the end, he came to the conclusion that what was needed was a marriage of self number one and self number two, a marriage of the monk and the poet, and that in their marriage something deeper and higher could emerge something that was more than either of them individually. So a question that we can ask, the question for you is, what are our internal conflicts? What are our different selves? It's worth mentioning that anybody who starts spiritual practice will experience some degree of resistance, even a lot of resistance. Part of us want to carry on practice, other parts don't. And the clearer, the more clearly we can see the parts of us that resist and try to understand them, the easier it will be to deal intelligently and creatively with the situation. It raises the question of how do we get to uncover our different selves. Well, when we're meditating, it's said that our selves can reveal themselves through our thoughts. Not maybe our distracted thoughts that just come and go without very much control, but deeper thoughts that float around, that stay with us. A thought reveals a character, a self. If we're thinking about work, our job, it can reveal ourselves that's the employee, the worker, for example. So identifying our different selves can increase our awareness and help us move to greater, deeper psychic integration. Integrated energies, when all our energies flow together without inner conflicts, so we can become whole and feel our energies as something much more potent and powerful. So now we'll do a guided meditation where I'll repeat these different approaches to meditation, and you can have a chance to put them into practice in the context of meditation. Undoubtedly, some you'll appreciate, you'll like more than others. And yes, I'd like to invite you to experiment and to try them out and to go further with them. If there are approaches that you don't connect to, well, maybe not starting with them straight away, but I'd suggest not forgetting about them either, coming back to them, seeing if you can use them. So when you're ready, you can close your eyes to start the practice, and bringing your attention into the room, feeling the space around your body, and listening to the sounds around you. And feeling the weight of your body on the floor, feeling the contact with the floor, the support of the floor. And bringing your attention to your whole body, seated here, just seated, sitting, and breathing, and sitting, and breathing. And noticing the different sensations in your body, pleasant ones and unpleasant ones, and sensations that are neither pleasant or unpleasant. In other words, neutral. And bringing your attention to sensations connected with the breathing, all the different sensations connected with the breath. And now, focusing your attention on the rib cage. Notice what happens there in the rib cage with each in-breath and each out-breath. How it expands and how it contracts. and which muscles are moving. Focusing now on the front of the rib cage. And the back, the left side, and the right. Can you feel anything that you didn't notice before? Now, focusing your attention on your heart center, feeling the space that it occupies, feeling the spaciousness, and giving your heart center spaciousness. So that any hidden energies and emotions can come into view, so they can become a conscious part of who you are, who you really are. Now moving your attention up to your shoulders, to the muscles in your shoulders, and breathing into these muscles, breathing into your shoulders, feeling the muscles move with each in-breath. Expand with each in-breath. And feeling the muscles relax and let go with each out-breath. Feeling the continuous process, expansion and relaxation, expanding and relaxing. Moving our attention downwards now and into our stomach, letting our attention rest in our stomach. And asking ourselves, are we holding on to any energies? Are we holding on to any emotions there? And just letting them relax, letting our self-control relax, and just see what emerges. Seeing whatever's there, and we let it be there. Giving warm attention to our new experience. And now, bringing our attention back to our breath, and letting our imagination play. Letting each in-breath be like the sea, coming in and washing over the beach. You can try to see the sea, smell the sea, feel the water wash over your bare feet in the sand. And letting each out-breath be like the sea receding back, leaving the beach. Now, looking more carefully, more closely at our meditative experience, what qualities are present? Do we experience stability, a stable state of mind? Do we experience enjoyment, a natural relaxation, a focused concentration, energy? If we start thinking, is our thought directed? Do we feel a sense of presence, and heightened sensitivity? And which qualities are there in German or form that we can make stronger with a little conscious attention? Which qualities are absent, and how can we bring them to life? Which selves are present in your meditation right now? The selves who want to meditate and go deeper into your experience, or the selves who don't. Who want to do other things. You can spot them by your thoughts, your deeper thoughts. You can watch them come and go. And promise to take care of their needs at a later date if necessary. Watching them come and go like waves on a beach. Now bringing your attention to your body seated here as a whole once again. And listening to all the sounds around you. As we prepare to finish the practice. So, we're nearly finished now. I hope you can't hear the drilling that I'm hearing. We'll see. So just to mention finally what to do in everyday life coming out of the content of this course. I'd like to, of course, ask you to do the mindfulness of breathing as a meditation practice, the 4 stages of the practice every day. And there are lots of approaches to practice. Maybe you can choose a specific approach each day and try out several things. For example, if you choose to notice the different qualities in a meditative state, You can review at the beginning what all the qualities are, make a checklist of them, and then see consciously which are there already spontaneously, which could be there with just a little bit more attention, and which need to be developed from scratch. You could even see how the different qualities vary from day to day. Is it always the same thing that needs developing, or does it change? If it's always the same thing, that gives a powerful indicator, something that you can do more deeply in your practice to bring about a deeper and more satisfying change. And also in everyday life, you can look to notice how we can use the breath to calm down, how we can use the breath to relax our muscles, how we can use the breath to deal with anger, to relax in a state of anger, to relax the anger, to soften it, and how we can use the breath to get energy when we're exercising, when we're physically active. And of course, how to remember to do these things is a question I'd like to leave with you again too. And please do share your experience, any problems you might have. You could create your own practice from the elements that we've looked at and write it down and share it with us. And one last question for review, for reflection, for practice, is how do we develop ourselves to be a more integrated being? What can we do in meditation and out of it? So I said what I would like to say on the mindfulness of breathing. I hope you found it helpful and enriching, and look forward to hearing from you about how it's going in the week ahead. Thank you.